Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Hotel Room Yap with Michaela. It is very cozy in here tonight. I'm loving this warm light from the lamp. This beautiful, I know it's a little bit reflective, so you can kind of see like us in it, but like it's a gorgeous night out. It's very, very fun with the lights, and yes, that is lightning. We are in the Midwest. We are in the Midwest. We are at the Omni Hotel in Oklahoma City. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. And it is supposed to be kind of rainy this weekend, and the thunder and lightning has begun. And it is really cool watching like the spring humidity light up the sky. I mean, I know that there are lots of intense, crazy weather moments that happen in the Midwest that are not pretty and not fun. But right now, the like purple lightning that's going on is so cool. So cool. First of all, I just have to say, unfortunately, yes, we are still on this book. I'm trying, guys. I swear I'm trying. I've made some headway. I think, I don't know, attention span and just, I think I forget about it when I'm not on the road now. And so I like only read bits of it when I'm in a hotel room, and then I forget about it at home. It's bad. It's bad. It's all my fault. I take full responsibility. Anyway, this is still the book that we are reading. You stay. We will get back to you. I mean, it's just... Oh, are you kidding me? It's so cool. Thunder used to freak me out as a kid. I don't know about anyone else, but like I was a pretty strong kid. But anytime there was like a deep thunder, I could like feel it in my soul, and I was like, oh, something's happening. Something's happening, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know, man. There's something about lightning bending in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, all right, let's get cozy. Let's get comfy. So, guys, I had a great conversation post-dinner with some friends, and I came in to the hotel room a few minutes ago. My brain just ablaze with this thought. Okay, bear with me now. Perhaps the root of all fear is unmet expectation. Okay? And I mean all fear. I think legitimately, potentially, all fear is a result of unmet expectation. There's a little bit of thunder going on. Now, what I mean by this, first of all, I need to take these shoes off so I can get more comfy. Aren't these fun? I love them. And no, I am not intoxicated. If I seem a little like jittery, it's because we may have a way for us to not be afraid of things. We will expand. We'll yap. We'll yap. The purpose of this series. Anyway, so all fear potentially is a result of unmet expectation. What I mean by that, so being scared of, I mean, gosh, there's so many things. Where to start? Okay, let's say being scared of being sick, being scared of death, right? So you have the expectation then somewhere in your brain that you're going to live forever, or that you're not going to die, right? Or that, or maybe that you're not going to get sick, or maybe that you are going to get sick and you just don't know when, right? So there's this premeditated expectation. Instead of living fully in the present of what's happening right now, when you think of something like, you know, death or potentially getting sick, that expectation of, oh, that's not supposed to happen, then becomes, oh, it might happen. And then your expectation of, oh, I'm just going to live like this forever, and being perhaps closed off to change or age or shift, then that is the greater disappointment. Because if mortality were a bit more normalized, right, then perhaps there wouldn't be as great of a fear. Maybe there is something to, you know, those who meditate and those in like Buddhist societies, those who think we have kind of a different life, maybe multiple lives. Death is more of like a transcension shift of energy, perhaps. Similar to, I think Egyptians too, like death was just a crossing over. There wasn't as much fear around that because it wasn't It wasn't a bad thing. There wasn't an expectation that you're supposed to live exactly the way you are right now forever. Like there are different windows and eras of life that bring different knowledge and different experience, and they are all good and all to be discovered and experienced, right? I know that this is a stretch because it's like, okay, well, I'm scared of the state of America right now. I'm scared of ICE coming and taking a family member, or a school shooter arriving and, causing harm to innocent people. So the fear that comes with that, though, because like in times of crisis, in times of problem solving, in times of panic or just protection, right? Why does fear take over? It's because your expectation was you were going to go to school and be safe. Your expectation was safety. Now, I'm not saying we need to walk around expecting to not be safe. I'm saying perhaps the transcension of not having fear is existing in the present moment with truly no expectations. Meaning, when something dangerous or tragic occurs, you of course can have empathy or surprise, and especially in the aftermath, but in the moment, you are simply processing what is happening in that moment and then acting accordingly, as opposed to functioning from the fear that's coming with you from living with the expectation of, I was supposed to be safe. The lightning agrees with me, clearly. And that's an easy thing to push back and be like, well, that's easy to say because what if my sister... Okay, well, the expectation is that your sister is going to be alive the entire time that you are alive, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't have that expectation, okay? I'm aware that every single one of these points can be counter-argued, all right? I'm thinking of something and I'm rolling with it, and I'm hoping that you're rolling with me. But if in that moment, something's happening to your sibling, I don't know, I think there's power in recognizing the facts of the present moment and functioning accordingly. So as opposed to being scared that something might happen to your sister, being like, cool, I need to protect my sister now. And that becomes like a motive and a drive of action, as opposed to a worry that sits in fear. Now, I'm not saying this is easy, okay? I think every person has their own reaction and their own valid reactions to something that's scary or unknown. But when it comes to things like your purpose on this earth, things that I thought, were going to happen by the time I was 30, or things that I thought were definitely going to be more clear, or friends that I thought were still going to be in my life, those things, I feel like it's easier to say. Probably the fear of the future, my questions, my disappointment, comes from those expectations that I set, that I projected from my own brain onto my future self, or onto my friends, or onto a project, or onto my family, or onto society. And so the disappointment that then leads to, oh, am I, now getting a little mushy, am I lovable? Am I talented? Am I worth it to anyone? Is anyone going to truly love me for me? All of those fears are only present because of the unmet expectations that were formed from my own perspective. No one forced those expectations on me. No one said that they were valid. No one really confirmed them. I painted this scape. And once those pictures weren't colored in the exact way that I thought they were supposed to, I thought that was a bad thing, first of all. I took away a negative thing and then turned that into, I guess, what's the word that I'm looking for? Insecure. An insecurity, which then turns into a fear of like lacking those things in the future. Hopefully you're tracking with me here, all right? Oh! Guys, I feel the rain. Oh, things are happening. This is about to be an epic video. Can you guys hear the rain? Okay, we'll see. Okay, we'll go through this storm together, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so cozy. Thanks for being here with me, because I actually might be a little scared. And, okay, being scared is different than being fearful, I think. I think fear is a deeper rooted perspective. Being scared is more like surprise. When you're scared of something, it's like a spider hops onto your table, or the thunder all of a sudden gets louder and closer, or someone knocks on your door and you weren't expecting it, right? Like those are the little things where you're like, oh, like that scared me. But like fear can be fickle. It can shift things and change your perspective and change your mind and control things in ways that you weren't expecting. And I don't like that. I also think a lot of people have to grapple with multiple sides of fear. I think a lot of people are afraid to make choices that would ultimately make them happier because the familiar fear is more comfortable. Never following your dreams, or of disappointing a parent. Those are familiar fears. It's easier to live with those fears for the rest of your life because you know them. An unfamiliar fear is the fear of being in a brand new city or failing at a new job that you thought was going to be able to pay your rent in this new city. It's getting crazy out there. Or literally discovering like new versions of fear that you didn't even know. That all is unknown fear. And so by avoiding the unknown fear and staying in the comfortable, just familiar fear, in my opinion, I think people end up accumulating more fear and functioning then out of kind of a, I don't know, maybe jealous, maybe depressed, maybe, that fear mutates and then can affect your entire existence. I think a lot of people aren't really living life authentically because judgment has become so important, or at least acknowledging judgment has become so important. We're so aware of each other's perspectives online and in reaction to art. And when someone doesn't resonate with something, or someone doesn't think something is good, someone doesn't like a piece of art, we think, oh, that shouldn't happen. That's a bad thing. We should avoid people not resonating with our art. We should avoid people not resonating with us. That means that's a wrong thing. It's a bad thing, especially with comments and likes and numbers. And especially as an actor, watching people with higher numbers get more opportunities simply for just having numbers. I know that that's not every project and everything, but it happens. It's happening. It's frustrating. And so then you're like, okay, great. So everything that I output needs to have a positive response. Otherwise, my existence is wrong, basically. That's a crazy kind of fear to be just walking around existing with on a day-to-day basis. Okay, this pillow isn't doing it for me. You stay. That is a crazy amount of expectation to live up to every day. That is impossible. And I think projection of jealousy or judgment or discomfort, I don't know, is so easily done because as soon as we see somebody doing something the way that we wish we could, the way we want to, the way that maybe we didn't even know we wanted to, it's so easy to just be like, oh, that's cringe. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, you think you're all that. Oh, you're so disconnected. Oh, you're so blah, blah, blah. It's so easy to do that. We're all going to have those thoughts. I have them. I have them almost every day. They're minute. I don't know if it's part of the lizard brain. I don't know if it's coding from just like existing on this planet. I don't know. But I do know that I have them on a pretty consistent basis. It can be somebody's hair. It can be somebody's aura when they walk into a room. It can be a job somebody just booked. It can be the fact that they're getting married and I have no idea who my husband is yet. All these little things can traipse through my brain of, oh man, I wish I had that. And I take that little nugget and I say, okay, this is an acknowledgement of something that you desire, that you want. What about it do I desire? Is it the prowess of the person? Is it the opportunity that this detail seems to give them access to? Like, what about the little jealousy spike? Why? Why does it come to me? And then I say, okay, that's something that I desire. That's something that would make me feel fulfilled, happy, seen. And there's various levels of it being shallow or something that's more of like a core want. But the core wants are important to just use as a reflection and be like, okay, this is actually really important. I really crave doing life like this, existing in life like this. And then from that, instead of letting that just turn into, if you just kind of swallow that, then that can turn into maybe a fear of you never being that. And that's where like the scorn comes in. If you're like, it ends up turning into, oh, they have that, ugh, that's so annoying. And then in your subconscious, the only reason you're so annoyed is because you think that you could never have that, or you could never be that. And who is actually in charge of that being true or not? Only you. Because we already know that everybody else's perspectives are objective, respective, and their own. And every single person, do you know of a single person who you think is successful, or you think is talented, or you think is great, that doesn't have people who disagree with that sentiment? No, I don't. Maybe like Princess Diana. But clearly, some people on this earth really disagreed with how great she is. There's something on the wall that just beeped. Does that mean that the storm is getting crazy? Oh, okay, wait, guys, I'm actually kind of glad you're here because I'm definitely a little scared. Speaking of fear and being scared. Whoa. You know what's crazy? You guys can't fully see over there, but earlier tonight, it was such a lovely night. There was a night market here in Oklahoma City along the street over here, and then they have an open park with like a stage, and someone was DJing all night, and it was like a really good mix. And there were food vendors and like little shops and things. It was so wonderful out. And I had an empanada and a taco. So good. Oh man, I'm hungry again. Oh crap. Anyway, it was so good. And the music was so fun. I danced around with a couple friends, and then we came back here and like sat outside at the bar and just yapped. I had a ginger beer, and just like it was just good. It was a good night. And then literally, I think I came back to my room probably like 30-ish, 45-ish minutes ago, maybe at this point, after yapping here for a bit, whatever. And now it's just full on freaking downpour. I'm looking at the streets. I'm so sorry for getting sidetracked, but this is the first time it's been... Did you see how clear it was at the beginning and how it's like not clear now? Whoa, that's crazy. Oh, I feel so bad for like the 2 cars that are driving down there. Ooh, drive safely, please. Whoa. Oh, there's people on the highway. Whoa. Okay. I know I'm being a little silly, but we don't have this kind of storming in LA. We have fires and earthquakes. But anyway, yeah, the root of fear perhaps is your expectation. Your expectation that people wouldn't like you for existing the way you are, or that people should like you for the way that you are, and then maybe they don't. The expectation of absolutely getting a job, or of definitely not getting a job, or of being accepted by a certain group of people, or whatever. All of these expectations that are then not met the exact way we think they're supposed to be met. I don't know, maybe it's the cause of fear. And if we can successfully live absolutely presently, you know, what's happening right here, right now, who you are, I don't know. Maybe it would help eradicate some of that fear. You know what I mean? The fog moves closer. The water trickles. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Do you see the lights like slowly disappearing? I feel like I'm in some very dramatic movie right now. Oh my gosh. These cars driving on the street. Wow. So here's a perfect example. I'm like, as I mentioned, I'm like a little scared. This is like heavy rain and thunder and stuff doesn't really happen in LA. But I could sit here and like stare and like clutch this pillow if I like get more scared, and like live in the fear of like, oh gosh, maybe something, again, like an expectation of something bad happening, or storm affects the building, whatever. Or I could recognize that I'm completely fine. I'm sitting on a couch with a pillow on my lap with 2 working phones and a working microphone and a light on. It'd be crazy if it just turned off right now. Okay. But right now, everything's okay. And I have a phone right over there to call the front desk and ask what the beeping is. And then I can think about, you know, maybe what would need to happen if my reality changed, right? But then I don't need to be like fearful of that. That can just be a thing of like, cool, if something shifts, then I act. And maybe that can eradicate fear. And maybe eradicating fear is a good thing, because then it can allow us to like live lighter and more freely and more authentically ourselves. We can be okay with the idea of people not liking us and finding the people that do, you know? Anyway, hopefully that made sense and was interesting to think about. I just want everyone to like be happier. And I know happiness, that's kind of an interesting word to use. I want everyone to be more, I don't know, peaceful, content with their own existence. Oh, is it hailing? It might be hailing. Don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I just want everyone to be a little bit more peaceful and content with themselves. Like, you guys are great. I don't know if we would be, every single one of us would be best friends in real life. Definitely not. There's too many of us. But like, that's okay. I like you all. I love you all as humans. And I feel like we should just all be a little nicer to ourselves and each other. Look out for the people, your neighbors, your friends. Look out for yourself. I feel like being online a lot probably hasn't helped a lot of this. So maybe it is just the damn phones, I feel a couple clacks. So I think it is hail. That wind is crazy. That's wild how quickly the weather changed. Yeah, okay. That's what I've got for you. I'm kind of hungry. Kind of want a snack. Probably. Can't get anything. Oh, I have some leftover mashed potatoes from dinner last night. Hallelujah. I feel like the end of the Breakfast Club when he is victorious for just a second. Yes. Mashed potatoes. Okay. Before I go, obviously, we must read the book. Okay. Ooh, cold. I'm going to turn on the heat, if it still works. So yes, The Creative Act Way of Being by Rick Rubin. If you're new here, I read a little phrase, a little section of the book that I'm currently reading, which unfortunately has been this book for many months because I keep forgetting to sit down and actually read more of it. Anyway, so let's just do a little flippy flip. Maybe some page ASMR for you. You're welcome. Let's see. Feeling somewhere here. Oh, okay. Cute. Maybe the best idea is the one you're going to come up with this evening. Fun. Okay. Maybe the best idea is the one you're going to come up with this evening. Maybe. Maybe indeed. Yeah, that's nice. I feel like that's a good vibe to end on. Hello, foggy night. I'm so glad I decided to film right now. I feel like you watched like a whole ecosystem change behind me as we yapped about fear and expectation and being yourself. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to stop yapping. I feel very yappy. Pondering. Thinking about all my own fears that I've accumulated simply because some projection of an expectation I had didn't end up working out the way I thought it would. And then I let that like resonate and live in me longer instead of just adjusting. But yeah, I let that resonate and then like affect how I felt about things instead of just going with the flow. Going with the flow is often, I think, given as like a careless thing. I think that's why I'm hesitant to say it that way, because you should still care about things. I think being fearless or functioning less from fear doesn't mean a lack of care. That's what I want to be careful of. I think it just means your perspective and your actions are rooted in something more grounded, maybe more personal, more intentional, as opposed to something as wavering as fear. All right, I'm being probably way too philosophical, hippy-dippy, la-di-da, whatever. But thank you for joining me for this rainy, stormy evening, lightning evening in Oklahoma City for Hotel Room Yap with a foot and a leg. La, lightning, 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 lightning. This is me sober. You're welcome. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.